Marcus wiped his grease-stained hands on his coveralls as the shimmer of translucent blue light faded from his garage entrance. The Zephyrian Transport Council had just deposited what looked like a 7-foot-tall cross between a snow leopard and a hummingbird on his concrete floor. The creature's iridescent fur rippled with nervous energy, and 4 delicate wings twitched against her back. "Great," Marcus muttered, reading the holographic citation floating above her head. Kira 9, charged with 17 counts of vehicular. Modifications without permits, 12 counts of unauthorized speed enhancement, and... He squinted at the alien script. Making transport vessels perform physically impossible maneuvers that violate 3 laws of physics. The alien female looked up at him with luminous silver eyes that held an unmistakably mischievous glint. Despite being dumped at his garage, as some form of community service punishment, she didn't look remotely ashamed. "So you're the infamous speed demon they couldn't handle?" Marcus asked, crossing his arms. Kira's translator device crackled to life. "They lack imagination," she said, her voice carrying a musical quality that made his garage tools vibrate sympathetically. "Their vessels are built for safety, not art." Marcus had been Earth's liaison for problematic alien offenders for 3 years now. Most species sent him their petty criminals to perform menial labor, cleaning, organizing, basic maintenance. But looking at Kira's rap sheet, he realized the Zephyrians had sent him something entirely different. "All right, Trouble," he said, gesturing toward his current project, a 1967 Mustang that had been giving him fits for weeks. "Think you can help me figure out why this beauty won't run right?" Kira's wings fluttered as she approached the vehicle. Her head tilted at an impossible angle, and she began walking around the car in a pattern that seemed to defy gravity. Sometimes her feet touched the ground, sometimes the walls, sometimes the ceiling. Marcus had seen plenty of alien physiology, but this was new. "Your combustion sequence is chaotic," she announced after her unconventional inspection. "The timing is fighting itself." "Tell me something I don't know," Marcus grumbled. Instead of responding, Kira placed her hands on the hood. Her fur began to glow with soft bioluminescence, and Marcus watched in fascination as delicate tendrils of light seeped into the engine compartment. The Mustang's engine turned over once, twice, then roared to life with a sound he'd never heard before, like a traditional V8 crossed with music. "How did you—" "Zephyrian ships are living beings," Kira explained, her glow fading. "We don't build vessels. We grow them. We commune with them. Your mechanical constructs have souls too, but humans ignore them." Over the next week, Marcus discovered that Kira wasn't just a reckless pilot. She was an artist. She could make any vehicle sing, coaxing performance from machines that shouldn't have been possible. His garage became a symphony of perfectly tuned engines, each one running better than factory specifications. But Marcus noticed something else. Kira was restless. She kept staring at the sky with longing, her wings twitching whenever aircraft passed overhead. "You miss flying," he observed one evening as they worked on a particularly stubborn transmission. "I miss dancing," she corrected. "In space with proper velocity, every maneuver becomes choreography. The Zephyrians build ships that refuse to dance." Marcus made a decision that would either get him in serious trouble with the Transport Council or give Kira exactly what she needed. "Come on," he said, grabbing his keys. "Time for a road trip." He led her to his personal project, a modified Kawasaki Ninja that he'd been tinkering with for years. It wasn't much to look at, but it had potential. "This is your fastest ground." "Transport?" Kira asked, running her fingers along the bike's frame. "It's about to be," Marcus replied. "Work your magic." Kira's glow intensified as she communed with the motorcycle. Marcus watched metal flow like liquid, components reshaping themselves under her touch. The engine's sound deepened, taking on harmonics that made his bones resonate. When she finished, the bike looked similar but felt alive. "Now what?" she asked. "Now we see what you can really do." They took the bike to the Bonneville Salt Flats at midnight. Marcus had called in favors with local authorities, ensuring they'd have the place to themselves. He climbed onto the bike, behind Kira, whose four wings had folded into aerodynamic configurations he hadn't known were possible. "Hold tight, human," she said, and Marcus felt her body temperature rise as her metabolism shifted into something approaching the supernatural. What followed was less a motorcycle ride and more a religious experience. Kira didn't just ride the bike, she became one with it. They moved across the salt flats at speeds that should have been impossible, the motorcycle responding to her thoughts, rather than conventional controls. Marcus felt them leave the ground multiple times, the bike's modified engine providing thrust in directions that defied physics. But it wasn't reckless. Every movement was precise, calculated, beautiful. Kira was indeed dancing, and she had turned his motorcycle into her partner. When they finally came to a stop, Marcus realized he was laughing, deep, genuine laughter he hadn't felt in years. Kira's fur was blazing with bioluminescent joy, her wings spread wide as she looked up at the stars. That, she said, was worth the punishment. The next morning, Marcus found a formal commendation from the Transport Council waiting for him. Apparently, Kira had filed a report describing her rehabilitation experience with terms like revolutionary, inspiring, and transformative approach to mechanical communion. Her community service was officially complete, but Kira remained in his garage by choice. The Transport Council, it seemed, had learned something about the difference between punishment and understanding. "Ready for another dance?" Marcus asked, watching her calibrate his latest project. Kira's silver eyes sparkled with mischief. "Always, human. Always." As it turned out, sometimes the best way to handle trouble was to give it room to become art.